Good day to all. This is my second episode from the JRC ECDIS series. Today we will talk about help, settings and maintenance submenus. In order to access them, you need to go to menu, the arrow down, and open help. Here you will see two tabs, search and contents. Search, you can search any word combination that you require, but in case if you need what you're searching for, you can go directly to contents and find the section that you need. Next we go to menu, arrow down, and maintenance. Date, time zone, self-explanatory. You can either use the feed from the GPS or enter manually. Next is sensor selection status. You've already seen this in my previous video. You can open it when pressing here and open menu, and you will see the same window. System information also we discussed in previous video. Here you can see software version and hardware model. One important thing to remember, the presentation library should be version 4.0 or more as of 2020. This you should be taken care of, because it will be checked by PSC. Functionality, you can check what options are enabled and which are disabled for each station that you have on the bridge. Next is Inmarsat CD and ID. If you require it to set up on the ECDIS, in my case, it is set up on GMDSS station. Operating time will be checked monthly by the responsible officer or as per frequency required by the SMS, to maintain running hours as per maker's instruction. Route plan exchange log. Never had a chance to use it. In case you need, you can use. Same with voyage distance. And the last one, self-test. Same as operating time, will be used monthly by the responsible officer to check if memory and SSD is okay, and also sound, light, keyboard and monitor test. So all of these devices should be working properly, and if some problem is experienced, should be reported and replaced. So next one, we go to menu, arrow down, and settings. So settings are divided into groups. For example, this is radar, this is target association and filtering, and so on. So we start from the radar. We will switch on the radar overlay on this ECDIS. In order to do it, we press on this icon. So immediately the screen will go to dusk mode. So the background will be black. And now you can see the clutter from the radar, clouds, and target from the buoy. Here you can see this is basic options. Same controls you can find on the radar keyboard, so you don't need to go to respective radar. You can adjust everything on the ECDIS. So here you will see 5 settings: gain, C, rain, interference rejection, target enhance, echo processing. So mostly we will have off and 3 levels for each of these settings: low, middle, high, level 1, 2, 3. This one is connected to the gyro, so it will filter out all echoes which are not consistent. And it is this calculation is tied to the gyro heading. So if gyro heading is not fed to the ECDIS, this should be set to off. Otherwise you can get some not consistent display of the radar. So we can also put C and rain to manual or auto, but I suggest to use manual and adjust as soon as environment changes, to have the most correct information. Signal processing, this is more advanced settings. I will show you the manual describing this section. So if you need it, you can pause the video and read it properly. Otherwise you can do it when using your ECDIS on the ship. In search field I put signal, and the first topic I have basic setting for radar signal processing. This is basic that we already discussed. You can pause the video and read it. I mean, nothing that you haven't known. So same as I spoke, if the ship's heading cannot be acquired, should be put to off. And this is advanced options. Next section is about targets, radar and AIS. We start from association. This is priority of the radar and AIS. At the moment it is put to AIS, but you can put it to radar. And this is priority between 2 radars, which radar you want to be displayed in priority. This association means that if you have feed from several devices like AIS and 2 radars, you will see only 1 target. You will not see the clutter of 3 targets, which can be confusing. So you can only select only one target from the device that you require. So next is filtering. Filtering is required to avoid clutter of many targets, and as we saw in previous video, the limit for JRC ECDIS is 500 targets for AIS. So if we have more than 500, you will constantly have alarm, and some targets may not be displayed. So I switch it on, and here you will see two tools for filtering: ring filter and sector filter. You can adjust it either by inputting the figures or visually. For example, I will press make target filter and I will get here the green circle. When you hover the mouse on this circle, you will see this double arrow. You hold down the left mouse button and pull it to the distance required. This was ring filter, and next is sector filter. So we can use them simultaneously at the same time. For example, we need to see only this portion of the chart, and all targets behind this line will not be displayed, because we don't need targets which are behind us. But in this particular screenshot, there is a mistake. They should be swapped. The start angle should be 250 and end angle 110. In that case it will work, because at this screenshot you can see that these targets are displayed and nothing we can see ahead of us. You will see properly set up in next screenshot. So what is next? We switch off the ring filter. Now we have only sector filter. And now you can see how this properly set up. This small line should be in the direction which is displayed. Now you can see these targets. Okay, ship's dynamic trait. This can help to set up the turning of the ship. How much reach, turn rate, turn set, acceleration, deceleration. I will open the manual, so if you want you can pause the video and read it thoroughly, what each option will change. In the manual it is not written very clearly, so you need to practice it with your own hands to understand it, how it works, if you need it or don't need it. Next is target track. On my station it did not work, so even the tick is here, I did not see any track of other targets. But if you need it and it works, you can find it here. Next is route. You will go to this pane when you're doing passage planning. All these settings are default settings. So when you start passage planning and put the waypoints, it will be plotted as per instruction given here, as per settings that you enter in these fields. But later you can change everything, so this is not a problem. Auto sailing, mostly, as far as I know, it is never used because of danger that it will not work properly, and there is also officer of the watch on the bridge. So there are 3 settings here: tracking gain, drift correction, dead bend. I will also open the manual, so that you can read. This is setting up parameter values for automatic sailing. You can read if you need it. You can pause the video. I will not. This portion of the manual also is not very clear. Here it is written temporary route. Here it is written predicted route. And there is no much explanation. Chart settings. This box is dealing with moving the ship's position when we are in true mode. Now it is relative mode, but if we are in true mode, the chart will be stationary and the ship's position will be advancing as the ship goes ahead. But we don't want the ship to go beyond the chart and disappear. We want to see our ship's position and our surrounding. So we can set up this red row, or in other words, moving of the electronic chart. And this setting 80% means that when the ship reaches 80% of the screen, the chart will be moved, or in other words, the ship will be moved to the other side of the screen. I will open manual so that you can see how they describe it. So when the own ship is sailing in the direction of the arrow in the figure below, if the border range you set is 50%, then screen display switches when the own ship reaches a 50% area from an edge of the screen. And also when in head-up mode, you can also set up when the chart will revolve. If own ship turns at the angle specified here, the chart will also turn. For example, if the margin is set to 10 degrees, the chart will turn when own ship turns 10% or more. Correction, I mean 10 degrees or more. Also, I want to point out the difference between ENC chart S57 and ENC chart S63. So S63 requires permit, S57 does not require permit. So S57 can be used without requiring permit from the chart supplier. And this is usually charts of very small scale, like world chart. You will need it only to have the overview of the area. Logbook, very simple, self-explanatory. You can set up it as you wish. Login events, view filter. Next section is quite big, Navtex. I can talk very long about this section. I will try to simplify it as much as possible. When you go here, you will find this box with ticks and 2 buttons. This is highlighting of the message list. I will describe it later on. I will start from the end. Display filtering for Navtex receiver. We press on it. So when we press, we request the filtering from the Navtex receiver. But in our case, it is not connected and nothing is received from Navtex. So in order to have consistent information, you need to set up simultaneously Navtex and ECDIS at the same time to have same information and consistency in this maritime safety information which we received on board. So now I will come back in order you can see. I will press on this message box. At the moment, please notice that we have 0 messages. I press on it. We will get alert list. We open Navtex. And we also press on this button, display filtering for Navtex messages. Now we have this window. So you can see here 4 boxes. Number 1 box is month and year. So the messages divided into months. You can select which months you need. In our case, this is June 2020. And now we will get here 722 messages. This will show you how this highlighting works. So if you tick these items, all these messages which you tick will be highlighted in white. This is if you scroll to the end, this will show you station. This is message type. So at the moment, A message is selected and they are highlighted in white. E and B are not highlighted because they are not selected here. In order to see it more conveniently, I will go to route monitoring and unload the route. And now we have the screen enlarged. These are the options: enlarged and minimized. Okay, I opened maximum of this information, and also I put here the letters. This is type of messages, same as you can see in this column: A, E, B, E, A, B, E. So this item means A, weather B, ice warning C. I don't know why it is put here. D and L. This A, B, D, L are I highlighted them in red because these are mandatory message types, and usually you cannot disable them in Navtex receiver. They should be always displayed. And even if you don't want to receive them, you cannot disable it. You will always receive the messages of these message types. So now the ticks are removed and you can see that messages are not highlighted anymore. One more thing is this yellow means that these are messages which are crossed by our route. I ticked display filtering. So these are stations that we have, stations pertaining to our route or to our area. They are 3, E, and F. So you can see all other stations disappeared. We don't have any more X. Message type also A, B, D, L, and L. ICE reports depending on the area and the season. And as soon as I selected only this stations and type messages, you can see that there are a lot of yellow messages here. Because most of the MSI information removed from this list, which is not pertained to our current route. And filtering depending on position. So you can use the radius or these ticks. At the moment it is 150 miles, quite long distance, approximately 12 hours depending on your speed. And now we can see how they highlighted just one more time, so you can see it clearly. You can practice it on your own ECDIS station when you have the opportunity. We can also access this MSI information or otherwise Navtex information already on the ECDIS screen. The ECDIS will read the coordinates from the message and will plot them on the chart. So you just right click on the area of MSI, press on the Navtex polygon, read out Navtex information, and you will see this message description in this window. You can also go to the area of the message by pressing this button. So for example, you read that this message, you go through all the messages and you found that this message is important, you want to check it. So you activate it and then press on the jump button and the screen will jump to this area. Okay, next section of the settings is general. So this will set up the screen display. First one is color and brightness. So day, dusk and night modes. You can select whatever colors you prefer, because I have experienced that some colors, for example in night mode, are very difficult to see. So you can adjust it or don't use some colors during the night time. For example, dark red color is not visible in night mode. So you can go to night mode and change the color that will be displayed in night mode. Otherwise, you just don't use the dark red anywhere on the chart. Another workaround, I found that you can just open this go down, for example, to dusk or day 3 and just reduce the brightness to minimum. Then you will retain all the colors which are visible, and it will be comfortable for night. One more thing I wanted to add, that for user map, better to use orange color. This is like a middle ground or sweet spot when putting some additional information on the ECDIS chart, because it is not so distracting for the eye, and it will be visible in all modes, whether it is night or day. So brightness, you can also adjust brightness. Sounds, also self-explanatory. You read the item and change whatever you require. Melody, same. Key assignments, so you can change the options of some buttons on your keyboard. I found this is quite helpful, especially ECDIS is not designed so user-friendly, so some things, for example, like manual position fix, is very inconvenient and consumes a lot of time, valuable time, especially during a port approach or in narrow places. So we start from user key 1. We have there are 2 buttons on the keyboard which are designed for user key 1 and user key 2. You can set them up as you wish. The options we press on this button, so you can select either capture screen or show preset menu. We go to show preset menu, and these are things that we can select. So for my convenience and for our bridge team, we decided that settings, we put one button is settings, another one is manual position fix. So view option, we use it very frequently because in this view options we can put the depth contour. This is one very vital setting that we can constantly use, that will reflect our draft and the safe depths that we go to. That is why we need to use it very frequently, and we allocated this user key 1 to this option, view option. Settings. Just come back, and this user key 2, manual position fix, you can put it the same way as I put here view option. It's just the same. So multi-dial, this reflects this panel, display brightness. So whether when changing this, you will change this option. In other words, I want to say that by this you can assign some option to the options that you can select when you pressing on the knob on your keyboard. so you can see this either display brightness, vector time, and so on. So you press on the knob on the keyboard and this assignment will change, and when you turn it, it will be adjusted. Just try it out on your own. And next, acquisition zone. We have two acquisition zones. It is meant for acquiring the targets that you have on the screen. In order to adjust them, you just hover the mouse over the line, then you have the double arrow and you can pull it inwards or outwards. There are also two acquisition zone buttons on your keyboard, so you can switch them on and off by pushing these buttons on your keyboard. You don't have to necessarily go to the settings submenu. Preferences, you can save all settings that you do on the station to your settings preferences. And for example, if 3 officers have different settings, each of them can save them and activate during watch takeover or handover. Otherwise, you can just default the settings. And the last one is screen capture. If you need to capture the screen at some intervals, you can put it here. Or otherwise, you can use the VDR recording. It's basically the same thing every 15 seconds. VDR takes the screenshot of every station on the bridge and you can access it with captain's permission. Okay, that's it for today. See you next time. Bye bye.